So it's early in the morning on Thursday, October 17th, 2024. And this is my first of 2 days at the New York Comic Con. And like other years, it's important because of the breadth of this place that you have a plan. Here's my plan for the 2 days. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it done. Stay tuned for the video. Anachronic. Hi, comic book fans. I'm Joe, and welcome to Anachronic Comics. As I mentioned, it's early in the morning on the 17th of October, the first day of the New York Comic Con. Now, as in the past, I'm only going to go on Thursday and Friday. I tend to avoid the weekends for a number of reasons. Not so much because it's crowded, because I think Friday is pretty crowded, Thursday not as much, but because other things are going on with the family, and the weekend for me is important to spend the time with my wife and if my kids come over, etc. So Thursday and Friday. Now, again, as in the past, I've spent Thursday primarily looking for signatures. And I don't go out and buy, New York Comic Con exclusives and so forth, although I might buy some while I'm there. It's possible. I more often will look through my collection and see what comic books I have that I might want to get signed by the creators. In the past, I made sure I went to one of the grading companies, mostly CGC, but CBCS as well, to get a witness to come. And that was excruciating because they always wanted to get a bunch of people going to one particular artist or writer, if possible, so they can kill more than one bird with one stone. But a lot of what I wanted was not what other people wanted. I don't know if you want to say I'm eclectic or whatever it happens to be, but there are some things I want to get done and other people just don't. Now, if I was lucky enough, there might be someone who's popular, and although you have to wait online, CGC, for example, might have a witness right there for you. So this year, especially since CGC, like CBCS, now will certify that a autograph is accurate and the person who it's deemed to be, I'm not going to go through that. It's going to make life a lot easier for me. I'll have the signed comic books, hopefully. And, if I want to get it graded, I'll do that. And I'll just get the signature certified. If not, it'll go with my other non-graded signature books in my portfolios. So on Thursday, my primary act, as I said, is to get the signatures. So I looked through my collection, and I came up with these. And I'm not saying I'm going to get them all done because it'll depend on lines, on timing, and what have you. But here is my primary focus for Thursday. So we're going to start off with Chip Zdarsky. I happen to have this Howard the Duck #1, which I believe was the first appearance of Gwenpool. All right, in there. So, it's an important, it's a key, and it's an important book. Milt would love the fact that I happen to have bought this Howard the Duck. I also have a sketch variant, which I think is a second print, but I think I'm just going to get this one signed by him. All right, so that's the first one. And it's important that you have some kind of a portfolio to put these things in so you can keep them in good shape. Now, the next one, and I don't have a Chip Zdarsky signature, so that'll be really good that I'll have one of his. The next one is going to be Dan Slott. Now, I loved Dan Slott's run on Amazing Spider-Man. It was at a time when I was collecting Spider-Man like crazy. As viewers of this channel know, I stopped buying the new comics with the most recent, about number 20 or so of the most recent volume. But I have a lot of old ones. And so I was looking through them and saying, what can I get Dan Slott to sign potentially? All right, so the first one they came up with is, I happen to have gotten 3 different variants, not the best ones, because sometimes, they're just not available, at your LCS. But I happened to get this one. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 700. it's super cool because it's the one that has the skyline with all of the Spider-Man related creators' names on there. So I think this is kind of cool. If I can get him to sign this one, I don't know if John Romita, uh, I can't get John Romita, Steve Ditko, Stan Lee, and those, but I might be able to get some other ones to sign it as well. And so it might be just something that I can do going forward, no matter what con I'm at. If one of the creators happens to be there, I'll bring the book along with me and get him to sign it. The other one is not a Spider-Man book per se, but it's one of my favorite Spider-Man runs, and that's Superior Spider-Man. I just loved this idea. I think he did such a great job with the series. I think it was 33 issues, if I remember correctly. It was 32, and then another one came out a little bit later on. So I'm going to bring this with me, and hopefully I can get him to sign this one as well. Now, I keep saying hopefully and all this. I know they're there. I have their location. So, for example, Chip Zdarsky is at F44. All right, this is in the Artist Alley. Dan Slott is at I-31. So I know they're going to be there during the day, but I don't know how much they're going to charge. I don't know how much money it's going to be. And so I got to kind of keep that in mind as I go along. So I may only have them sign one of them. And if I do, it'll probably be number 700. Again, depending on the money situation. Now, one that I definitely want to get signed, this will be signed by both Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder. All right. And that is Batman number 6, The First Court of Owls. All right. A great cover by Capullo. But I know they're both there. Let's see. Capullo is at G44 and Snyder at H44. So I'm definitely going to try to get them both to sign this one copy of Batman number 6. Now, here's one that I'm not sure what's going to happen. But a few years ago, and I already had a 9.0 of number 1, but a few years ago, I went into this shop in Cape Cod where the guy was a he formerly owned an LCS, and then he opened up just kind of like a nice shop with treasures and things like that. A lot of them comic book related, but some not. And I happened to go down there because it was listed as a comic book shop, and there's not a lot of stuff like that on Cape Cod. There's only this one and another one that I know of. But he was selling a collection from one of his former customers. And he had all 4 issues of the Wolverine limited series there. And, we negotiated a good price on them. So here's the thing. I know that both Chris Claremont and Frank Miller, are going to be there. I don't know. I'm thinking that Miller especially charges a lot of money. So I'm going to see how much Miller is going to charge. And again, I'm not going to look to get these necessarily, graded and so forth. But I just want to get the signatures now. So depending on what he charges and what Claremont charges, I would love to get them to sign all 4 of the books. So they'd be double signed, all 4. If it goes beyond my monetary ability, I'm going to start with number 1 and have them just sign number 1 and have that done. But I think that is something that's we're just going to have to wait and see on that and see how that works out. Finally, the last one is I want to get a Steranko signature. Now, I already have him on the Hulk Annual. I got that by sending it down to CGC. But I want to be able to get him to sign something directly from me. And I was looking through what could it be. And I said, let me get one of the Nick Fury ones that he did in the past. And I think number 159 was one that I focused in on because it's a great cover, and it features Nick Fury and Captain America. Okay, so I looked at this, and again, this is one that I bought when I was a kid. And like a lot of them, it's the worst. It's not in the greatest shape. The top here, you can see. But more importantly, we're missing some of this corner. Okay. So, and the rest of it is what it's like. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to take it out, check it out, make sure that it's not going to fall apart if I give it to him to sign. But assuming all goes well, even though it's not in the best of shape, again, it's just to get his signature. Um, I'll pull a Steve White and take my phone and take his photograph as he's signing it, hopefully. This may be what I will do. So those are the books that later on today, when I get down to the Javits Center on the west side of Manhattan, I'm going to try to get done. Now, let's see. So that's Thursday. Now, there also are a number of different panels and so forth and presentations that I might look to do. Like, for example, there is going to be one on the Penguin. I'm not sure if you needed prior tickets for that. I didn't see anything like that. But if so, there'll be a long line before that. So I might have to take a couple hours off to get online and to get to that if it is available. Also, there was just recently a posting by James Gunn about they're going to have a Belle Reeve section. Hopefully, DC will have their own section, and Marvel is, I know, but DC will have his own section as they did in the past, which they have a lot of cool things going there. I got a lot of giveaways, pins, different Green Lantern rings, and things like that. So I'd love to be able to go there and see what's going on in the DC area Thursday and or Friday. But the Belle Reeve area is because of the Creature Commando animated show that's going to be coming out later this year, as I understand it. So he's going to have giveaways there and so forth. So hopefully we'll be able to get something there as well. So I'm going to be looking for that. But on Thursday, if I have time, but definitely on Friday, I'm going to be looking for particular comic books that can fill some of the runs that I'm looking at. There's some great vendors there that I go to, including Zap Comics. And so a lot of times you can find, filler comic books, and most of them are in pretty good shape to finish up some runs. So let me bring up my particular page that I use to kind of keep tabs on what it is that I'm looking for. And here it is, my stuff. Okay, let's bring it up. All right, if we take a look at this, you see that the first section is Doc Savage, one of my faves. Excuse me. And I've been going through it, and as you can see, I have, gotten all of the 1972 Marvel. I haven't looked for the Mark Jewelers, not significant for me, so I'm not necessarily going to look for them, but if I see one, I'll pick it up. But more importantly, Doc Savage magazine, through a great AOK from Tina and other ones that I managed to get, I have almost all of them. I just need number 2 and 4. So you see the yellow there? And the reason for the yellow is those are two that I'm really looking to get. Okay? The second series here and the third series, I have some of those. If I have the money and I come across them, I might pick them up, but I'm not necessarily looking for them exactly. Okay? Next one, the Spirit I just recently added to that, but I'm not going to be looking for them necessarily. The next one is the Metamorpho, another of my faves, and I think with the new DC Universe, is it a TV show, I believe, coming out soon, it'll be worthwhile to come up with some of these comic books. I have a number of his first issues, number 1 issues, and have a number of his appearances in The Brave and the Bold, because since I like them, every time I came across one, I'll pick one up. So I probably have like 3, 4 of each. But for the first run, I'm still missing numbers 12 and 16. So again, see the yellow, that means that I'm definitely looking for those. Definitely looking for those. Second series, if I see it, again, and if they're cheapos, I might pick them up. I have all of his, the limited series, 1 to 6. Now we go to Blue Beetle. And I know these are the people, why do you want these? I like these characters. I know they're B-listers, I guess, maybe C-listers, but I think their stories are cool, and I really like them. So the Blue Beetle is one that I really do like. And the 1955 Charlton and the 1950 from Miller, I mean, they're down on my list, but I'm not necessarily looking for them. The 1964 Charlton, I would love to find. These might be a little expensive. I'd love to find numbers 1 through 3 because I do have 4 and 5. I have this series. The 67 Charlton was the first Ted Cord. And from the standpoint of the 5 that came out, I have 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 1, it's been difficult to find one that is not, I think, overly priced. So, I don't know if I'm going to find one here at the Comic-Con, but I'll look for it and see if I could find the number 1. I have the whole first series from DC. The second series from DC is the one that has come out now with Reyes. I have it down here because the first couple of issues were important from a standpoint of him taking over from Cord. I don't know if I'm going to complete them or not. Okay, but it's there. And the Blue Beetle fanzine, number 6 from 1970. Again, not looking for it directly, but if I could find it, that would be great. All right. So as we go down now, you see Booster Gold, I'm pretty much done. Okay. Captain Carrot, I'm pretty much done. All right. The other one, and this is going to be probably some expense to it, all right, is Justice League of America, the first series. All right. I have this 261 issues in Volume 1 of Justice League of America. You see it's from 1960 to 1987. There are also a number of annuals. I have all the annuals. I have one special that came out with that as well. And I have all of the 261 regular issues. Many of them I have both when it got to that point, I have both newsstand and direct sales. Although I'm not really focusing in on getting either. I just want to complete the run. But I do need numbers 64, 68, and 75. So at the Comic-Con, often you'll be able to get something like that. So I'm definitely looking to see if I can get these and if I could fill out the run. So that's going to be my primary Friday job, and what I'm going to be looking to do on Friday at the New York Comic-Con. All right. So does it mean that I won't be mixing some of that up? No. Does it mean I won't be looking potentially to get some exclusives? No, I've done that in the past. So I'll be looking for some of those particular deals. And I'll also be picking up some other comics that I think just intrigue me as I go through the lists. So that's my plan. I'm going to head out in a few minutes to take the Metro North train down into Manhattan. I'll have about a 30-minute walk or so over to the west side. And so I'm going to make sure that I get down to the Grand Central no later than about 9:15 so that I could take my walk there. And again, that's a cool walk because you're walking with a bunch of people. Some of them are in cosplay too, so it's kind of interesting. And it's just kind of like almost like a lemmings thing. Everybody's walking one after the other going over there. And once you get there, if you have a particular app, I think it's the Clear app. I've used that in the past. You don't have to wait online. You can go through another line because you've already been vetted, and you can go through a metal detector real quick and get in real quick. So wish me luck. Hope that Frank Miller and Claremont don't charge too much so I can get signatures on all 4. We'll see. I'll check in with you guys. Probably not tonight because I'm going to be tired. But maybe over the weekend, I'll follow up with this and let you know how well my plans went. And if you're going to the New York Comic-Con, seek me out. All right. I'm probably going to be wearing my New York Comic-Con t-shirt. All right. That I got at my first Comic-Con, I think, or at least maybe about 4 or 5 years ago when I went. And I just wear it once a year when I go to the Thursday Comic-Con. So look for me. All right. And I'll see you there. And if you want to see my videos from past Comic-Cons, click here. Take care, guys. See you in the next one.